All right, I've got a roller shutter that the springs have become disconnected from the top slat. I thought this would be a good opportunity to see how the roller shutter works without the cover on. So every single spring has become detached from the top slat, and that's most likely caused because this top slat here doesn't want to bend forwards. Somehow it's got jammed, and it has done a small bit of damage to the top slat there, and all the springs have pulled themselves off. These ones look okay, so I'm not sure why they have pulled off. It may have opened up a bit. But you can see by the shape of that shutter there, it's supposed to curve around this way. All right, let's operate the shutter. This one's got a key operation. So we turn the key to the right for it to go up, left to go down. Let's give it an operation. It's a bit noisy here. We'll see how it works with the springs detached from the top slat. Now we can see the springs in more detail. They have a specially shaped end. The springs themselves, they don't look too bad. It's a spring steel, fairly tough. So we'll probably have to disconnect the springs from the axle, slide them back onto the repaired slat, and then re-rivet them back into the axle. This is quite an old shutter. Let's pop it up again. We'll go down. So we do have to do it in the down position, so we need to get the motor all the way down. I normally disconnect the springs, but this looks much cooler. All right, that's the maximum down position. So let's get those springs off, attach them back to the repaired slat, and put it back in operation. So I've drilled out all of the springs from the axle. They're just sitting right here. We're going to reuse these. They're not broken or cracked. And I'm going to add one more brand new spare one. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, a fifth spring, which will add a bit more strength. So now I'm just going to work out why this slat is jamming. Make sure the top is okay, and I'm going to add the springs into a different position. So there was one spring here. I'll move that over a fraction, and instead of here, I'll put one here, and vice versa. Instead of that one, I'll move it over a bit, and same with the other one. So they're just in a different position, just because that slat may have been compromised in the spots where the springs used to be. This is so noisy here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lift up the shutter from the bottom. If I lift that up, then the slats will come out at the top and hang down. That'll make it easy to access. And for this, I'm going to use the Viking arms. I'll just pry the bottom up with a screwdriver. We'll slip the Viking arm underneath, and that will give us about that much lift. So we'll pop a screwdriver underneath to get some access to the Viking arm. Slide the Viking arm underneath. That's only 6 millimeters of room that you need. You can get a 3 millimeter plate as well. And then all we do is give this a bit of a squeeze. And as you can see up there, it'll lift the slat up. We've got to do the other side as well. This side doesn't need any lifting. Alright, that's the maximum before it's getting twisted. Okay, now we should be able to pump this one, and you should be able to see it come out of the top there. There it comes. We'll just ease that over. Alright, there we go. go, that slat has now freed up. I think it's a little bit damaged on that corner there. I might even remove that slat and just have the next slat, which should be enough to make it close still. All right. So yeah, there's our Viking arms in action. Makes the job so much easier. But we'll just pump that up a bit more so we can slide our springs on. We'll go to the maximum height there. Hopefully, yep, that will give us enough room to slide our springs over the end there. Okay, so I've just removed the topmost slat. There's plenty in there to gain enough height still. That's the old one down there. There's not enough room to slide it out between the wall, so I've just given it a few bends to get it out there. And this top slat is the other culprit as well. It has bent out a small portion, but there's no major damage along that lip there. That's half the reason why it's not bending over. Okay, let's slide our springs in. First spring. Okay, so that's the direction there. So that just slides on simply like that. And we'll slide him down the other end. So we'll just put all these springs on. I'll put the brand new one in the middle. Over the end, like so. And we'll slide him down there. So we'll put 5 of those springs along there, and then we'll close the curtain and attach them to the axle. We've got our 5 springs on. We'll spread those out evenly. Let's jack this down with the Viking arms. So you've got a quick release on the right here. If you press that, it will just go straight to the bottom. And you've got a short throw, inching. It's not an inch, it's probably a few millimeters. So when you squeeze this, it goes down very gently. I know that's only a few millimeters at a time. Let's have a look. Very precise. But we can just throw it down. It's not very heavy. We can just lower it down. The shutter's not too heavy, so we can hold that as it goes down as well. But as you can tell, when you press this button here, it will collapse straight to the floor. And we'll slide those out. And there we go. So there's our springs. As you can see, we've still got heaps of room to attach. Plenty of slats still. We can even get rid of one more in the future if we really need to. This will fold around a bit further and it will still stay pretty secure. But yeah, any more slats than that, we probably need to start replacing them because it does decrease the security. You can lift the shutter up too much to get under. There are some high security doors behind here, so it's not a big deal. All right, let's get those springs riveted into these holes up there and we'll see if it works. I'm just going to drill a 3.5mm hole. These are a bit smaller. I'm going to use my Milwaukee 12-volt rivet gun. This thing's awesome. Grab some rivets, pop a rivet into the end there. Now these line up with about the second hole. Let's put it in this one right here. All right, that's our first spring attached. Now we'll just get all the rest done and we'll be in business. So the motor's on the left-hand side. You can sort of see through. There's some silver in between these gaps. That's the motor. So the motor goes all the way along here. It's a tubular motor and it ends about here, which is probably why they've got the tape on there. There's a plastic octagon-shaped piece that matches the axle. So you've got to be very careful when you're drilling into the axle when there's a motor nearby. We're going to go one back, maybe two back. So we just want to widen that hole without drilling into the motor. Just like that. Don't keep drilling into that because you will destroy your motor. may or may not have done that before. This is usually something you learn early on, and it's a very costly mistake. Where's our hole? This one here. I'm going to put a rivet right in there as well. Now we've got all our springs in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's activate the shutter and see if it now opens. So we want to go up. Actually, we'll go all the way down first. See if it closes. There we go. All the way closed. And now let's go up. Are we going to have any action? There we go. Roller shutter activated. That's working fantastic. Let's make sure it goes all the way up and down. And that top limit is probably going a bit too high now, so we need to adjust the top limit because that is coming out of the track because we are one slat less. So we need to get some Allen keys and see where it says the up arrow there. We need to wind that to the minus, which is the top one. So we need to wind that clockwise. Actually, that's down, that's rolling forward. So the bottom one down there, we need to wind that Allen key screw to the minus. You can see down there, that direction, which you would be spinning anti-clockwise. No, that's clockwise, so this way here, which is, yes, downwards, so that way. All right, let's go and get an Allen key and adjust those limits. And then we should be sweet, but we should be able to carefully go down and just make sure it goes all the way down as well. It does work okay, but ideally you don't want it popping out of the top of the track there. This shutter has had some damage done to it. You normally have a physical stopper up the top there. But being a public premises, you do get some vandalisation happening. All right, that closes perfectly, so we just have to adjust the top limits. I'm going to get an Allen key now, and there we go. So that is add travel, and the other way is minus travel. So we need to wind this one anti-clockwise to get less open travel. I've got some Allen keys. Let's try and find the correct size. I reckon it would be probably the 4mm one, I reckon. See if that fits in the hole there. Well, it does have a flathead adapter inside there as well. Didn't notice that on these ones. See if that one turns good. So the bottom one, anti-clockwise, a couple of turns. And then we'll activate the shutter. Just have your hand on the switch at all times. You don't want that going too far up in case it's the wrong direction. And there we go, that stopped quite a bit shorter. So what we can do, we can wind that back clockwise a smidgen. Go back up again. That's pretty good. I might go just low to the door there, just so it's in the track a bit more. So I'll wind that anti-clockwise a bit. Go back down and up again. Geez, it doesn't take much. A little bit higher. Yeah, perfect. Should be able to open those doors, no problem. Maybe just a smidge more. Too much. It takes like a quarter of a turn, I reckon. Geez, these things are very finicky. Yep, that'll do. reckon that can open that door. All right. All we have to do is put that cover back on now. And that's it. Roller shutter fixed. With some rivets, a drill, Viking arms, and an Allen key. Beauty. And as always, thanks for watching. If you liked what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to leave a comment below. That would help my channel grow. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. That would be fantastic.